Hi, I am joined today with Roger Connect, President of Universal Accounting. Roger, tell us a little bit about Universal Accounting and what you guys do.
Yeah, certainly. Thank you, Jaime. Yeah, we are a post-secondary school for accounting professionals. We basically work with individuals trying to improve their skills, acquire the skills that they would like to actually enhance for job promotions, pay increases, but also working with individuals who are in the process of starting and building accounting businesses as well as training their staff.
So, Roger, I know you guys are also the host of my favorite conference in the industry. I would say it's the number one conference in our industry, and that is GrowCon. So, can you tell us a little bit about GrowCon? Because I thought it was a big deal for me to visit last year and experience it myself and just see lives changing, business owners learning. It was incredible. It was an incredible time. So, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, this is an event more or less to celebrate and honor as well as help individuals who are owners of bookkeeping, accounting, and tax businesses. That's the focus. And so as owners of firms, we get together and basically hear from the experts, those individuals that come on stage and actually share with us things that we need to focus on as it relates to working on the business. And that might range from marketing things to acquire new clients. It could be offering more quality services to improve maybe the revenue we're generating or the longevity of the client relationship, as well as looking at the production. How are we working more efficiently and productively to basically get paid what we're worth? So there's various aspects that are addressed. But the other thing I would also point out about the conference that many people really enjoy is the peer collaboration. It's the networking. It's the meeting other individuals that are clearly in the same line of work as you. And you get to hear from people that are farther ahead and what their insights may be. You get to be inspirational to those who are starting out and behind you as it relates to your business. So lots of good things going on there. And admittedly, it's just a lot of fun.
Yeah, I definitely had a ton of fun, and I'm looking forward to joining you guys this year again.
Thank you. Yeah, this is going to be a good time.
And so, Roger, the reason I asked you to come on today is because I wanted to talk about the future of the industry.
Yeah.
You and I are both in the education space. We see a lot of students, and they have the same questions, the same doubts, and they may come with some fear as well. And so I wanted to jump on with you because we're both educators in this space, and I wanted to talk about, I guess not talk, but try to predict the future. Maybe we won't predict it perfectly, but we can talk about what we're seeing now, some trends we have seen over the last couple of years, and where it's going.
You know, it's kind of interesting. Having been in the industry now for 3 decades, I can definitely say things have evolved and changed. And I appreciate the question because there is something to be said about the future. But I think to understand that, you've got to reflect a little bit on the past and get some context for what might the future be. So let's just kind of look back in the last few years. If you're in the industry, you'll remember that there used to be a huge emphasis on moving to the cloud, going paperless. And there was this transition time to say, we've got to let go of running computers or all the software on our computers and putting it on the internet. And this was a huge, basically transition or ask of the profession to trust that we could put all this financial information out there in the cloud. Well, that's very commonplace today. It's natural. It's what everything is. So we've moved beyond that. And then the conversation became about value add. How can we actually, as a profession, bring more to the relationship with the clients we serve beyond just the commoditization of the bookkeeping and tax services we offer? And all of a sudden, what happened is there was this value pricing discussion and value add. And really, people struggled to understand what that big term was. How am I going to bring more value to my clients? And so there's been a number of years focused on what that might look like, what that client engagement could consist of. And really, you saw an evolution to move towards what I would refer to today is the CFO and advisory as well as tax planning space. A lot of people have migrated to offering those services, which maybe before they were doing for free, and now they're actually now structured and pricing that accordingly. But now on the horizon, everyone's talking about AI. How is the profession going to be impacted by AI? And one of the things that I think is fascinating is how the tools we're already using are integrating AI into those platforms. We're already paying for these services. We're already utilizing them, and we're starting to see the integration of the AI. And so as a profession, I think we're just starting to adapt to how we can leverage this tool, this new resource, to our advantage to actually meet our clients' demands and needs.
And Roger, do you see the use of AI here in our industry as an overall good?
Oh, most definitely an overall good. Yes, I'm not threatened by it. I'm actually encouraged and excited about it.
Oh, yeah. And so you talked about the shift of bookkeepers and how we've become trusted advisors, the CFO routes, the tax planning, the tax prep. So I think with that, what has come is clients have gotten to where they have a higher expectation of what we should be doing as bookkeepers. Do you agree with that?
100%. Yeah, if you went back just a few years ago, I think it was very customary for accounting to still be historical. What was happening? We're closing the books. We're trying to tell the narrative or story of the business from a past perspective. And we didn't have much really to offer as it related to today or the future. I think a lot more businesses expect today real-time access to their accounting information. It's not uncommon to have an app, an interface that the business owner can look to see what's in the bank today, what is going on with sales today, what's happening with cash flow. I mean, there's a lot of dashboards out there that they're leveraging to make decisions today with real-time information that's afforded to them by the accounting profession. We're helping them make more informed business decisions. But it's also now moving towards how can we actually help with budgeting and forecasting and help the business owner plan for the future, help with their growth expectations, their cash flow needs. These are things that I would dare say in the years past would have been hard for us to actually facilitate. Today, the tools exist for us to now provide that as a service. And I do believe that business owners are becoming more expecting of that.
Oh, yeah, yeah. And Roger, between you and I, we both see tens of thousands of students and bookkeepers in this space. What is something that you think we're getting wrong? Not us, but what do you think bookkeepers are getting wrong right now?
There's a few things getting wrong. One, I think a lot of them lack the confidence to really move outside of just the bookkeeping space. We're talking about getting into this advisory role, being more forward thinking, being more creative, honestly. And I do feel for a lot of people that understand the stigma associated with bookkeeping as to what that was, they struggle to see how they can really bring a lot more value add to the relationships because of the experience they have. Honestly, as professionals, we get exposed to so many businesses and we get a perspective that no one else has. And so when you're looking at it from that point of view, I think the bookkeeper, the accountant needs to actually get the confidence to go into the business with a little bit more, let's say, bravado to say, here's what I'm seeing in your business. Here are things that I need to ask that you need to answer as the business owner and decide how you're going to address these things. Because as a business, you need to be more aggressive and forward thinking. Otherwise, you're going to become irrelevant in the space that you're in. So we have a lot, I think, responsibility to come in and actually have that voice. But I do feel that a lot of bookkeepers have this attitude of you don't speak until spoken to. And there are a number of older bookkeepers and accountants that I do believe, unfortunately, see this still as a commodity. It's a business that they can successfully run, be very profitable at, just providing financial reports. And that's enough for them. They're satisfied. Their clients are even satisfied because they don't know any better. But what I'm encouraging is accounting professionals to be a little bit more forward thinking, a little bit more engaging with their clients, a little bit more engaging in the sense that they're asking questions. So that I think is something that is maybe different.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, the one word kind of that comes to mind when you're talking about all of this is fear. The fear of not knowing enough, the fear of, will I be able to actually help somebody? Will I be able to create the systems? Can I actually do this? And so that's just the word that keeps coming to mind. Can I actually be a leader? Those are questions I've asked myself. Can I actually do this? Can I be a leader? Can I lead people in this company? Can I lead people into the right place and put them in the right positions as well? I think, Roger, I don't know if you agree or disagree with this, but I think one of the biggest things I see that where students get stuck in is waiting too long to act like a business owner. And this is especially true when you've been an employee for like decades, right? And then you're trying to take on a new venture of being an entrepreneur. It's not, you can't just wake up one day and become an entrepreneur because there's a lot of skill involved that comes with time.
Yeah, no, what you're describing there is a common thing. I think it's only natural for many people, especially as they're starting out, being that solopreneur, to realize, yes, you've started a business, you have a business name, you have a business license, there is that official, I can now say to people, I own a company. I get all of that. But at the end of the day, like you're mentioning, it's a job. If you don't do it, it doesn't get done. There's you, and the whole goal at this point is basically to keep you busy and employed. So congratulations, when you started the company, you hired yourself, you're the first employee, and that's wonderful. But until you change that mindset and actually start seeing your company as a business, as an asset, something that you can, with standard operating procedures, with clients, actually grow and develop and really have something of value that's beyond just the work you're doing, is phenomenal. And I think that transition takes time for people to actually have. There is an imposter syndrome, a confidence that comes about. You mentioned fear a moment ago. Until you can supplement that fear with confidence, you struggle to grow the business. And really, one of the transitions I've noticed is that first moment when you realize that when you hire your first employee other than yourself, stop seeing that what you're paying that individual is coming out of your personal pocket. And as a solopreneur, you're taking, in essence, all the revenue and you see it as your income. But all of a sudden when you hire someone as an assistant, another bookkeeper, a tax preparer, whatever the case may be, you're seeing them as they're taking money that if I did what they did, I would get that as income. But you have to change that. It's a mental switch. You have to now put on that entrepreneurial hat and realize, oh, this is a business. They're getting paid. I'm getting paid. The job is actually to go get enough clients to pay the company so it can afford both of our payrolls. And so that's just a paradigm shift and a difficult one.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's a thing that you have to, it's an internal battle, right? And it's a daily battle almost. You briefly mentioned AI, and so I kind of want to go back to the AI and software. What is the best way that somebody can learn about it? Because I do feel like it's almost oversaturated. There's so many different softwares, apps that promise that they can do everything. And they're just, like, where do you even start with that?
I appreciate the question because it is intimidating. I've worked with a number of accounting professionals. They are responsible fiduciary to the information they have access to. You know, I want to protect my client's information, so they don't know where they can go put that and so forth. So here's my advice. One, many of the interfaces that you're already utilizing, the general ledger that you're using, say QuickBooks, Sage, whatever, they're already integrating into those platforms the AI. Use it. Go see what you can do to get trained on it. Incorporate it into your daily routine as to how you're using it. The thing that I have to understand is, yes, I can use this information, but I've got to play with it first. And I have to actually you're not going to break it. So just go start asking it questions, start seeing what it can do, start interacting with it. Think of it like another person, honestly. Just have a conversation with it. And through the questions and dialogue that you're having, you're going to find insights that you weren't even aware of 5 minutes ago because of how the conversation has gone with the AI. Now, the thing that I think is powerful about this is realizing you do not need to become a programmer or a prompt writer in order to use AI and be successful. With the integration of the AI into these various platforms, they've already crossed those bridges of what prompts are needed to get the AI to give us the information we need. So they've done the heavy lifting incorporating the AI into these platforms for us. Now, if in that exchange, using what you're already paying for, what you already have access to, if you're using it and finding it valuable, then I would encourage you to now go out and get one of those platforms, the ChatGPT interfaces, and just play with that and start having conversations with it. Have some personal ones, just ask it questions. Replace Google searches, Bing searches with questions to the AI prompt, whatever platform you want to use, Grok or whatever. In doing so, you're going to find that rather than going to Google, I can now go to these platforms and have similar conversations. Now, coincidentally, Google also has an AI interface that you can interact with now. The point is until you start asking questions and having a conversation with the AI, I think it's still one of these foreign things that you just don't know how to interact with it. So you've got to play with it. But I do suggest leveraging what you're already paying for and utilizing the platforms that you're already familiar with.
I love that advice. Just a very simple advice there. Replace your search engine with some kind of AI function, and it'll start to become very, very easy.
Oh, yes.
Roger, another good way that I have been able to get introduced to new softwares that are using AI has been through community. I'm really big on community, meeting people that are in this industry that have tried things. I'm not the first one to jump. I'm not jumping at the next shiny object. I would consider myself an early adopter,
Okay.
but I'm not the first adopter. I need to see that somebody has tried something before I jump on that. So I love being able to have a community that I can go to, or even a conference, right? Even going to GrowCon, where I can go and meet some of the software vendors and talk to them so that I can learn more about that. Do you see something similar where the best place to just kind of get some information on that would be through communities and places like GrowCon?
Yeah, I appreciate the question, and I'm going to go back to your comment about being an early adopter. There's something to be said for people who are willing to take risks and go after the shiny things and try them out. For a lot of people, that's not natural. They want to stay back, see what actually becomes more the norm and so forth. So you're perhaps an early adopter with a lowercase e, and that's totally fine. But to your point about being a community, there's something to be said about the accounting community. We are fortunate that we have numerous communities out there that we can each participate in, and I strongly encourage us to do so. But the point I'd make as it relates to the conference, GrowCon in particular, is you have to understand that after COVID and with all this AI and social media that we all have, we're still social creatures and we need human interaction, not a digital interaction where via social media we have friends and we're commenting and so forth. We need to have conversations. And as business owners, I cannot emphasize or stress enough the importance of getting to an event where you get to sit at a table and have a conversation with someone who as a peer has similar challenges, struggles, insights, experiences that they can offer perspective. You don't even know what questions will come up, and yet you're going to leave after those 3 days having been introduced to, experienced things that you couldn't even have planned, but will change the next month, 6 months, year as it relates to your business. It changes who you are because it bolsters answers you. I'm going to maybe go off on a tangent here real quickly that maybe people would differ with, but I do believe as human individuals, we need not just human interaction, we need to touch individuals, shake hands, give hugs. I'm a hugger, and as it relates to hugging individuals, that physical connection is, I think, very important to me, and I think others benefit from it as well. I realize there's some people that are a little standoffish and prefer not to have that kind of interaction, and I respect that, but I think the norm, the majority, needs it. And so when you're able to provide that outlet where somebody can actually go and experience people and be comfortable and very quickly become very natural as to who they are with this group, it's so invigorating. I would consider myself in many ways an introvert, and yet I still find it very helpful to go to a place and actually just hear and speak with people, see their smiles. That's what I'm needing. And over 3 days to be able to work on my business and work on myself, I feel rejuvenated for the coming months as it relates to my own business.
Yeah, and how often does a business owner take several days off to, and it's not even off, how many times does a business owner take some time to work on their business instead of in their business, right? Sadly, it doesn't happen as often as it should be.
No, I think naturally, at least for myself, I'll just speak of me. I'm a workaholic. I love what I do. I'm good at what I do. And so I enjoy it. I find satisfaction. And in fact, the rewards, the dopamine of the successes I have in business are very gratifying to me. So I don't want to not work. That's something I'm drawn to. And to step away from the day-to-day routines and kind of look at it from a new perspective. Yeah, you're right. It's not a vacation. I am working still, but I'm working on my business rather than those day-to-day norms that I'm traditionally sucked into.
Yeah. And on the topic of AI, I was a few months back, I was on a podcast called Humans in Accounting, and I love their catchphrase was they said the biggest threat to AI are humans. And their whole shtick behind it is that people crave that human touch. And whenever we've gotten so smart, and maybe a year ago we could read something and we couldn't tell it was AI. We've gotten so smart that we can see through it. We can see when somebody's using AI. We can see a picture in most cases and think, okay, that one looks a little off. And we can see when it's AI. And we naturally crave that human element to be around people. And I think if I had to sum up where our industry is going and where it has been going, honestly, for the last decade, is that business owners, do they want the job done? Do they want their bookkeeping done? Of course. But what they crave is that human element of it. They want to know that there's a human behind that, and they could be using AI, they could be using all kinds of software that helps them do the job, but what they want is that relationship. They want to be able to talk to somebody, jump on the phone with them, jump on a Zoom call with them, and go over their financials, talk to them, give them advice. And that's where I really see this going. They're going to know that AI is being used, but they want that human element. They want to make sure that there's a human behind the AI still.
Yeah, I think the stigma of whether or not you're using AI and that's a negative, that doesn't exist. I don't think that really is anything we need to be worried about. AI is a tool, and it's a question of whether or not you're going to choose to use that tool to help you work more efficiently and profitably. The biggest thing that I can emphasize here is maybe in the horizon of years away from now, there's going to be something that might threaten us as a profession, as humans doing accounting. It's not tomorrow. It's not this year. It's not next year. Business owners are so focused on what they're doing as companies. They need accounting, and they're not going to now take all of their time and attention from growing their business to try and figure out how to actually set up the AI accounting process. What they want is to hire an accountant who will take care of their accounting needs, and whether we're using the tool is irrelevant to them. They still just want accurate, timely accounting information, and they want our perspective and insights as to how they can use that information to be more profitable. So it's a tool for us, and we shouldn't be threatened by it. What should be threatening is the accounting professional who's perhaps old enough in their profession, near enough to retirement, that they're saying, this is a chapter that I'm unwilling to embrace as it relates to the profession, that I'm not going to be involved in. And they'll be able to hold out with the clients they currently service for a time being. But the person who's threatened is the individual who chooses not to use AI in their business. For those of us who are embracing it, like we moved to cloud accounting, we will embrace AI accounting and we'll use it as an interface to actually be more efficient. And the thing I'd like to end with is this. For the last maybe 2 years, there's been this talk of opportunities in the accounting profession as it relates to fewer accountants in the profession. More people retiring, few people are entering it. Fewer people are going to college and graduating in accounting. And so there's this chasm. And so it's been pushing a lot of people to move to offshore accounting to fill that void. That demand exists. It will continue to exist. It will continue to grow. What this is affording us as a profession is actually a relief valve. It's giving us the tool we need to take on more clients and work with more business owners than we perhaps could have without AI. So I really think this is a tool that's coming on the scene at the exact time we need it. We need to embrace it and really become familiar with how to incorporate and use it in our business.
Yeah. And to wrap this up into a nice bow here, if I had to just kind of give the outline of what the successful firm owner is doing over the next 3 to 5 years, I would say, number one, embracing the technology, being open to it, letting go of fear. And then I think the third thing is to find a community, to be part of something else, right? Have a community of other bookkeepers, accountants, tax preparers, whatever industry you might be in the accounting industry, to find others that you can bounce ideas off of. Roger, is there anything that I missed that you'd like to add here?
Nothing that you missed, but I'd like to compliment what you said about community. There's a turnkey business plan to accounting business. You don't need to reinvent the wheel here. So if you can engage yourself within a community, I think a lot of the struggles and challenges you're facing as it relates to marketing, engaging with clients, onboarding, training staff, all those things that we're dealing with individually as we run our businesses, others are also experiencing. So to come together in a community and realize that they can give us insights that we wouldn't otherwise figure out, or we will in time, but why not just figure it out today? All of those things accelerate our success, help us not feel as if we're in a vacuum doing this alone. There's that phrase of when you're running a business, it's lonely at the top. It doesn't have to be lonely. Just have a whole bunch of people summit with you and you're going to be fine.
Oh, yeah. And I think the best place to find some people in your circle or to add to your circle is at GrowCon. So I encourage people to go. I will be there. Roger, you will be there. And there's going to be a ton of experts speaking. And some of them are just going to be hanging out. You know, you don't know what you don't know. So I would say take the plunge and come join us.
Perfect. I love it. It's an excellent place to stop. Yeah, GrowCon, love to have you join us. It is the event for owners of bookkeeping, accounting, and tax businesses. It's a must-attend event. So if you don't already have your ticket, register now, and I look forward to seeing you there as well.
Awesome. Roger, thank you so much for your time.
It was a pleasure. Thank you. And always remember, if it's about accounting, it is universal.